Good afternoon, Muttonistas. It's another cool, grey, damp day in Manchester. We love it that way, don't we? Anyway, who needs great weather when we've got football on, and especially when we're going to go and watch Manchester City play? Tonight, we're going to go to Newcastle for the third round of the Carabao Cup. It's going to be a long day, but I love this competition, and so does Pep Guardiola. So, Muttonistas, come join me. Okay, Muttonistas, we're nearly there. The train journey between Manchester and Newcastle is about 2 hours 40, can be 3 on the slower services, and sometimes you have to change. Anyway, I'm going to be here in good time at about 5:30. I'm a bit apprehensive about this match. I mean, with all the injuries, the suspension of Rosie, we are stretched a bit thin, so I think Guardiola's going to rotate quite heavily tonight. Anyway, more about that later. Let's go and find some street food in Newcastle. Well, I've arrived at Newcastle Station. Pretty splendid old building it is as well. Bit early for me to eat. I've spotted some City fans in the pub across the road, so let's go for a swift jar before we have dinner. Okay, Muttonistas, we are thoroughly warmed up and match fit after that little sing-along at the pub. Time for food now, but before we get there, I want to say Newcastle is actually one of my favourite away trips domestically. The people and the Newcastle fans are very friendly, you can get into most pubs, the food is good as well. There's a great atmosphere at the ground, and it's not too far to walk from the ground either. It's about 20 minutes top from the station. Okay, so maybe I should have come here earlier, but the food venue I researched is the Zap Thai street food restaurant. However, it's quite popular, and for the first time in quite a long time, I'm not sure whether I'll get a table, but I'll try. Otherwise, we might have to have what's known as a British rail dinner. Okay, I admit it, I've carved. Should have gone there earlier, shouldn't have been having all those pints at the pub. However, there is a little Chinatown very close to the stadium here in Newcastle, so I'm going to give that a try. Surely there must be somewhere that can take me. Okay, I finally found something that I think I'll like. There was a Korean place, but we did Korean at West Ham. This is called the Red Fire Restaurant, and I've seen some Sichuanese dishes on the menu, so I don't think we can go wrong here, and it doesn't look too busy, so I'll be in good time for kick-off. And great to see an open kitchen here. Always a good sign. I think I'm going to have noodles. I don't want soup noodles because I'll end up with a red shirt instead of a blue one. So I'll see if I can get some dry ones. And I've gone for a Chinese beer with my meal tonight. Not my favourite brew, but it's the sort of thing that goes well with these spicy noodles. So I'll declare myself match fit and come on City. And talk about quick Muttonistas, that came out at the speed of light. I give you spicy beef brisket noodles. Slow cooked beef is probably the better thing to have. I could have had beef slices, but I think, or at least I hope, that this will infuse a bit more flavour into the noodles. And the football shirt is off for this because I'm as messy an eater as they come. And whilst I'll be using my fork for most of it, I'll start with a spoon just to give you a little idea of the flavours. And I hope this isn't too hot. I've had to switch to the fork actually because the way you eat these is basically to slurp them from the bowl. And now for a little taste of the beef. I'm going to have to eat this two-handed, I think. It's tender, it's flavoursome. The soup is full of Sichuan spices, so it's properly spicy. It's not blow your head off spicy, but I can taste the peppercorns and the broth, the chilies, the Sichuan spices, all those things I like when it comes to the spicier versions of Chinese food. Anyway, Muttonistas, I am going to get on with this, and I will be back with you to talk some football. Okay, that was delicious, folks. My mouth is a little numb, but not very numb. You don't want something too spicy before you go to the match. You wouldn't want to be caught short in a football stadium, would you? Anyway, on to the football. And I thought Eddie Howe would have gone very strong for this game. I know they're involved in a lot of competitions, as City are, but I would have thought, given how stretched City are at the moment, this would be a big chance to knock us out. But he's gone for a blend of first and second team players, as has Guardiola. Alvarez leads the line, no Haaland. Jack Grealish comes back, a welcome addition, as does Mateo Kovacic. And Oscar Bob gets a start on the right. Rico Lewis comes in for Kyle Walker at right back, but we have experience at the back in the names of Akanji, Ake and Gvardiol. And Sergio Gomez gets another start alongside Calvin Phillips, who really does need to step up to the plate in the next 3 games. Before I saw the team news, I thought this was a match we would probably lose if Eddie Howe had gone strong. But now I think it's too close to call. I think this is 50-50. This should make for an exciting game. Anyway, I'm going to go for a very quick one at the pub next door. Newcastle supporters keep telling me that there are no such things as home and away pubs in Newcastle City Centre on match day. So I'm going to test that theory out. Well, it seems they were right. I got in without a problem. Only City fan in here. Everybody else is a Newcastle supporter. Chinatown, which was surprisingly good, surprisingly varied, confirmed for me the status of Newcastle being one of the best away trips you can do. And for those of you who don't know, the away supporters are housed in the 7th tier of the Leazes stand. Fortunately, there's a lift because I don't want to walk up those 7 flights. Never really got the ball back. A lot of our defenders had chances to clear or get something on the ball, and eventually Isaac did get something on the ball. 1-0 to Newcastle. This could be tough getting this one back. Howe bringing on 2 substitutes. Gordon and Grimares seem to have changed the game a bit. I think Pep needs to make substitutions of his own because we've lost control of the midfield. We're not hemming them in as we were before, and we're making some mistakes.
Rosie, let me tell you about Rosie.
Okay, I'm back at the scene of all the singing, shouting, merriment pre-match. Post-match, a bit more sombre. Just opposite the station, haven't got much time. Time for a very swift pint. Citra Pale Ale, one of my favourites, as regular viewers will know. What did I make of that, though? Well, it's disappointing because I like the Carabao Cup. I'd like still to be involved. I know that we have this tournament in Saudi Arabia to play, which would have meant playing the youth team in round 5, but still there's a round 4, and the Carabao Cup does give a lot of fans who can't normally get away tickets an opportunity to go. On the pitch, of course, experiments as well. Guardiola fielded a blend of second teamers and first teamers, mainly second teamers, and in the first half they did pretty well. Calvin Phillips, he was okay. He didn't provide any sizzling forward balls, but he was pretty solid. I thought City did pretty well. They kept Newcastle back, although Eddie Howe played a very cagey game in the first half, and it's as if the Newcastle players stood off City a bit. Second half, different gravy though. He brought on Guimaraes and Gordon, and it changed everything. Newcastle really upped the tempo in the second half, and they were very physical. They are a physical team, full stop, but they really piled into City, and some of our younger players like Rico Lewis, Oscar Bob, very easily muscled off the ball by what is quite a tall and strong Newcastle team. And of course, yes, second to every second ball. It was getting very messy in midfield. They scored, of course. Rico Lewis and others could have got a foot in. I think they were badly positioned, and the goal probably still could have been stopped. Guardiola did make substitutions. Doku was lively again, and so was Mateus Nunes, but it was too little too late in the end. One really good chance which whistled past the post in the 89th minute. So not the worst thing in the world. It's a difficult place to come to. We have a good record here, but they are a good team. So I wish Newcastle all the best in the rest of the competition. And again, thank the people for their wonderful hospitality. But for me, I'm going to wrap the video up this evening. A 4.5-hour train journey back with a long stop at York. Not looking forward to that. But as a dedicated football fan, these are the things you put up with. Plenty more football on the channel coming, plenty of football for City, of course. And we're now in a run of 4 away games, of which this was the first. I won't be at Wolves away on Saturday, but I will be at Leipzig next week to cover the second game in City's Champions League group stage campaign. So until then, please remember, keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, tell your friends all about me, but most of all, don't forget, You can't beat a bit of mutton.
How many Joshua's been